Sit back, relax. Let's talk about another 6 eBay books that sold last week. Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is good, the YouTube community? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you for joining me for another video here on the channel. Of course, today we have another eBay sales video where I give you 6 books that recently sold of the prior week, and we talk about them here on the channel, see where they were, and see now where they are. But before we get started in the video, like always, I want to remind you guys, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, once we get to 6,000 subs, and hopefully we'll get there soon, you have a chance to win this. So for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, I've decided to give away this awesome Hulk vs. Wolverine maquette, measured in about 1/10 scale, and of course features the incredible cover from Incredible Hulk number 181. So if you're a sub, when we get to 6,000, you have a chance to win this awesome statue. But that's not it. If you are a member of the channel, you're going to have a members only giveaway, and we're giving away this awesome custom original art Spider-Man swinging through New York City. So if you're not a member of the channel and are interested, you have a chance to win this amazing original art. With that said, I also want you to smash that like button for me. It really helps the channel out. And of course, check out all the new merch I have for sale down below. You won't regret it. With that said, let's check out these eBay books. The first book we're going to take a look at this week is a copy of Captain Marvel number 17, the Alphona second printing variant. This copy in a CBCS 9.8 just sold on July 23rd for $1,290 with 23% off by the seller. Now, of course, we all know that CGC copies usually sell a little bit more than CBCS copies. Regardless, as we get into the GPA data, you can see the last sale for this book in a CGC 9.8 was $1,300, right on par with this sale. But there's a reason I wanted to check on this book. I remember a couple of years back, everybody was raving about this book, talking about this is the key to buy, the second print variant of this character with this amazing cover. Check it out. The 90-day average for this book is all the way back at $1,035 on just 4 sales. The 12-month rolling average, $1,582 on 13 sales. In 2022, the average was $2,655 on a whopping 21 sales. Guys, this is not it. If you go back to 2021, the average for this book was an insane $4,250. That to me is a monumental decrease in value. We're talking about 75% decline from the highs of 2021. Is it the character, Miss Marvel? People are not liking the character. Did the Disney Plus series drive down the price of this book? Let me know in the comments what you think it is, because this book has taken a massive shit. Up next, let's talk about a hot Bronze Age key. And here we have a copy of Tomb of Dracula number 10 in a CGC 4.0 signature series signed by the great Marv Wolfman. Of course, this is the first appearance of Blade the Vampire. Now, this copy sold on July 23rd as well for $590.89, selling it out of the United Kingdom. Now, as we get into the GPA data, I wanted to show you guys this book because it seems to me like in certain books, especially keys, signature series books are kind of holding their value more than the unsigned books are in certain instances. So do your due diligence if you're going out there and buying some books. You may be better off buying a signature series copy. Regardless, the last sale on this book has already been recorded at $591. And again, as we get into the 90-day average, also $591. There's only one sale over the past 3 months. The 12-month rolling average, $756 on just 2 sales. And again, this book hasn't sold prior to that in just over a couple of years. So we're going to end with that right here. So again, this book has maybe come down about $150 over the past year. Not a big deal. I usually tend to buy Bronze Age keys in higher grade. But again, you can't go wrong. It's a signature series book, a nice yellow label. I think somebody did a good job picking up this book when they can while the market is down. Up next is our Raw book of the week, and we have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 3 and the first appearance of one of my favorite Spidey villains, Dr. Otto Octavius, Doc Ock. Now, this copy, a Raw book, sold on July 23rd at auction for $1,176 on 41 bids, and I really wanted to check in on this book. So the last sale on a 1.0, guys, and I'm calling this a 1.0 because it really doesn't present that bad. Yes, there's a little bit of cover wear to the book. I don't think it makes a 1.5. Possible it does, but for me, I think it's a 1.0. Regardless, a last sale of a CGC 1.0 was way back in July of 2022 for $1,500. And you have to go way back to the 2022 average to get the average sale prior to that. And that was also $1,500 on just that one sale. In 2021, the average was $1,450 on 2 sales. Now, I always say this, especially with early Silver Age Spider-Man, I always want to own them, especially if they present well. And this copy absolutely does. I think this person got a little bit of a deal at roughly $1,200. Remember, they do still have to pay tax in most states. And the book has also probably come down a bit over the past year or so, so keep that in your head. They probably paid what it was worth. But remember, you can never go wrong buying Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man keys. We all know Golden Age is super hot, and here we have a copy of Captain America Comics number 56 in an insane CGC 9.0. Now, this copy sold on July 22nd at auction for $3,300 on 39 bids. Now, when I saw this sale, I did a double take because I'm wondering why a 9.0, such a super high grade copy, only sold for $3,000 and change. And as I got into the GPA data, it really didn't help me out because this book and a 9.0 hasn't sold over the past 3 years. It's just this copy that has been recorded. Now, again, I always say this when I'm looking at Golden Age Captain America. For me, I want to own a Nazi cover or war cover when it comes to Captain America, and I prefer an Alex Schomburg cover. Now, for $3,300 plus tax in most cases, to pay this for a super high grade copy from the Golden Age, I don't think it's that bad considering I don't know how many are on the census. That's something we really have to go and look into further, but regardless, it may be worth it just for the historical fact. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Next up is a massive key, but hold up, we have a Tales of Suspense number 39 in a 5.0 restored PGX label. And guess what, guys? This book is massively trimmed. You can see along the right edge of the entire book, a total chunk has been taken off of this one. Now, I wanted to pull the GPA data on a restored copy, and if you're unfamiliar with GPA, there are various levels of restoration. So I decided to pull a C1, a 5.0 copy, and the last sale on one of those was way back in January of 2022 for $8,211. And believe it or not, that was the last sale we had for the last 3 years. Now, I pulled some other data, but before I go into it, I wanted to remind you guys, I am not a buyer of restored Silver Age books. In my opinion, the only way I'm going to buy a restored book, it has to be a Golden Age book, and it has to be a scarce book to boot. So I brought up the data for a regular blue label CGC 5.0 unrestored. Now, the last sale on a copy of that was $13,200 in April of this year. There was no 90-day average data, so the 12-month rolling average was $12,785 on 6 sales. In 2022, the average was $15,229 on 7 sales. And way back in 2021, where everything was going nuts, $17,420 on just 4 sales in a 5.0. I will say this, guys, I always tell you, I'm a buyer of Silver Age keys, especially right now. But what this person paid for this book, they paid $4,050 at auction for a massively trimmed book. Not only that, it's a freaking PGX book. So while we're here, let's take a look at a blue label for around the same amount of money. Now, you guys tell me in the comments, would you rather have a restored copy of this book in a higher grade or a blue label CGC 2.0, because the last sale on a 2.0 unrestored copy was $5,610 in March of this year. Again, no 90-day average data, so the 12-month rolling average was $7,054 on just 4 sales. In 2022, the average was $7,669 on 6 sales, and in 2021, the average was $7,290. So again, Over the past couple of years, this book has stayed steady around the $7,000 range. The high being, probably around $8,000. The low probably being around $7,000. Now we have that $5,600 sale in a 2.0. But again, back to the book that sold. Are you willing to spend this kind of money on a restored book? We're talking about $4,000. Or would you rather have a blue label, whether it be a 1.0, 1.5, or in this case, a 2.0? I always think it's a better buy going with the more resellable book. In this case, I think it's easier to sell a blue label copy of Tales of Suspense 39, but you guys let me know what you think. And the last book we're going to talk about this week is a book you rarely see for sale and was once one of the hottest books out there. Here we have a copy of Albedo 2 in a CGC 7.5 white pages, the first appearance of Usagi Yojimbo. Now this copy sold on July 22nd this year, asking $4,499, but actually ended up selling for only $3,500. And as we get into the GPA data, you can see the last sale has been recorded for $3,500. The 90-day average $4,101. The 12-month rolling average also that amount at $4,101 on just 2 sales. In 2022, the average is $4,800 on just 1 sale. You can see how scarce this book really is in any grade. And in 2021, the average was $6,043. We're talking about almost a 50% haircut from 2021. Why is this the case? I know this book is super rare, and when you usually see scarcity, you usually see price increases, not massive dips in value. However, I think with this one, I know at some point they were going to do some type of Netflix or some kind of show that may have been canceled or overlooked, and I think that has driven down the price of this book. Again, it's just hearsay. I really don't have a reason. Either way, I'm really shocked how far this book has come in such a short period of time. That's it for the eBay sales video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, if you own a book right now that has kind of really taken a massive haircut, don't panic. I want you to sit back, relax, and hang on to your books. A lot of these books, yes, they've come down. It really depends on timing when you purchase these books. But over the long term, I think a lot of these books will come back. Some of them won't, unfortunately, but I am going to do a video on certain books that have really held the test of time. Yes, that may have come down over the past year and a half, but that doesn't mean over the next 20 or so years that they won't continue to ascend. Now, I'm talking about some of the bigger books out there. Don't forget, not some of the smaller keys where there are a lot more copies. So either way, stay tuned for that video. Like always, I hope you enjoyed this one. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.